Back up. Back. Back. Okay. We did a little bit of groundwork with Roy. I just put on the saddle. He has no problem taking the saddle and no problem taking a bit. So what I'm going to do here is take off the halter, which he takes very nicely. Oops. Throw that over there. Okay, now I like his head down, as we like to do with most of our horses. Oops. We'll do that and put this through. The throat latches halfway out. Put this back. Oops, come on. Get through there. There you go. Okay, so we got this pretty much opened. I want to put his head down, do this basically, and I want to give him the bit, let him take it himself. There you go. And then we'll go outer ear, inner ear, outer ear, inner ear. There we go, without pinching him. And then take his little thing up here, set that on, make sure it's set nice. And then what I like to do is make sure the throat latch is on correctly. And the throat latch should be about 4 fingers. Give him ample room to move, and this is usually for me the second hole. And that's when his head's up. I want about 4 fingers in there. I could actually go one more up. About there. And that's 4 fingers. Yeah, that's good. And we want the bit. And this is a snaffle bit with a twisted chain. Not chain, but a twisted wire. And I'll be going just a smooth snaffle here in a couple weeks. But you can see it's at the corners of his mouth, and that's where we want it. Okay. So, before I get on a horse, I want to make sure his mind is there. And so I'm going to do a little bit of hind-quarter turns. Make sure those inside back feet are going in front of the outside back feet. And I usually do it left and right. And then I adjust this a little bit because he's probably extending his belly a little bit. And because he's fairly new, I'll do a little bit of desensitization here. Just a little bit. Then I'll do it on this side. And I expect him to stand and stand still until I ask him to move off. If he doesn't, I will work his feet and then start over again. So I'll ask him to whoa on a loose rein. I'll grab the mane. Now, if he's acting up, I would have his head turned into me, so I could turn him away. As you can see, I'm just getting on him, and he's just standing still, and that's what I want. I love on him a little bit, say that's a good answer, and then I take his head, little lateral control left, lateral control right. I'll do this a couple times, just to let him know we're not going anywhere until we do this, and it also lets him know I got a little bit of control. We'll walk off with very, very slight forward movement of the pelvis. No kicking required. Now, initially, it may require a kick, depending on the horse, if he doesn't want to move off. But he's got to learn that when I ask for move off, when I ask him to move off, he moves off. Phases is what's important. You start with sitting here, moving your pelvis, a little bit of thigh, a little bit of calf, a little bit of leg, more leg, small kick, big kick, slap. When he takes that step off, you relax pressure. If it happens when you do this and you say walk off, then that's where the pressure comes off. It's the phased effect. He learns to go off with the lightest pressure because you're using the lightest pressure required. But if he doesn't move off, the pressure will increase. He'd prefer light pressure rather than more pressure, which makes sense. Now, for stopping, You want to get used to stopping him on your seat. So every time you stop, you should say, whoop, and then reins as required to stop him. When you repeat that, you sit back, you can say, whoa, sit back, and then reins as required. So when I come around again, he's got to the point where he's done it a few times, and so now I'm going to have a loose rein and see if he stops, which he will. So let's go, whoop, and my legs come forward with a little squeeze. People do it in different ways. I like to do it that way. The back, to get the head down, it's a little bit of, since I got a twisted wire in there, I'll go left, right a little bit, and then pull down, release. Left, right, head comes down, release. Left, right, little pressure. And you can see my fingers. I'm just twisting my fingers like this. And I'm going to ask for more and more until his head kind of stays there, where he learns that the relief will come here. And we do this at a walk and at a trot as we get this under control. Now, for backup, again, I'm going to use my seat. What do I do with my seat when I back up? I go more to my pockets. So I'm leaning back a little bit, and at the beginning you can exaggerate. But right now I'm just going to lean back in my pockets, and then my legs are going to come on, basically saying, I'm leaning back and I'm giving you some pressure. I want you to go back. Why is he saying back? Because I'm leaning back in my seat. I'm not in a neutral position. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the head. I want the head to come down. And this is just a head position. It is not collection. It's just a headset. So I'm going to ask him to go back. So I'm going to lean back. I'm going to say back because I just like using dribbles. And then I'm going to ask him to go back. Release, 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 release. I got legs on him. Legs come off. I go back to neutral position. So when the legs come off and I'm in neutral position, this is where I want him to just stand, okay? Doesn't matter what I do. This is neutral. Now, the forward movement is the pelvis, and then, of course, like I said, the thighs and his nester. So I'll say walk off, a little bit of forward, a little bit of pressure there I have to use. Okay, now when we want to trot him, we're going to do the same thing. Before I go into trot, let's talk about a little bit of suppleness. So suppleness means you want that head and body to be nice and supple. You want the body to curve a little bit. So I'm going to use inside leg, inside rein, and I'm going to wait for that head to go down and the head to come in to me. When it does, you release it and let him go off a couple of steps. And you do it to the right, inside leg, inside rein. When that head comes in and down, that's where the suppleness comes in. And you want him to basically go around your leg. There you go. And then you release it and let him go off. A little bit at a time. Remember, reward the try. When you're learning something and he's learning something, well, you want it to be a little at a time. You know, if you want to do a side pass, he doesn't do a side pass with 5 or 6 steps on the first day. If he's going to do a side pass, he's going to do it a little bit at a time. What I do for a side pass is I'll go into the fence line at a 45-degree angle, like this. Then I'll give him my inside leg. The left leg, outside leg is off of him. A little bit of bend in the head. You ask for a few steps, and then you release him and say, good boy. So if I got 3, 4 steps to the side pass, that's fine. And I'll do it at the fence line all the time, left and right, until he's got it at the fence line pretty well. Once he's got it there, then you can try it out here in the open. And it might be a little difficult at first, but you'll work on it. So here we go. Another stop. Ooh. Good boy. Another backup. Good boy. And sometimes to get the best stop, you get a good backup. If you got a good backup, you can get a better stop. Okay, so for the trot, it's a cluck, and then it's pressure is required from light to what is necessary to get him into a trot. Okay, so I'm going to do that here in a minute. I'm going to cluck, and then pressure is required. If he goes into a trot on the cluck, I don't need any pressure. So right here, I'll go, went right in. So I'm just going to ride him in the trot. And I'm going to do a figure 8 here. and switch my post. Outside leg. You're coming up on the outside leg. These figure eights are great for the horse and for you because you've got to switch your diagonal. Coming up on the outside leg. Want that head bent, just like we were talking about for suppleness earlier. Head bent in here. Sit and relax. Stop riding. He goes to a walk. That's his trot. Ooh. Okay, where I'm trying to get him eventually is that he does all this without rein. So you can see right now, if I stop him on a loose rein, I'll say, oh, oh. Okay, he took 3 or 4 steps there. I didn't like that. So I'm going to back him up. Back, back. Okay. And we'll go to left. Okay, for shoulder control, he's just learning it. And he's not doing that bad. I could use spurs, and I probably will in the next week or two. But right now, I've been using a little bit of a crop. But what I do on my turns, if I want to go off my leg on a turn, you use your inside rein in your turn as a supplement. First thing you do, whenever you're teaching a horse something new, you want to use what he doesn't know first, followed by what he knows. He's not that sure about the leg and turning off my leg, but he knows inside indirect rein, and he'll turn off that. So that's like telling him, this is what I want you to do. If you don't, then I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go towards you in the camera, straight, and then to turn, I'm going to use my leg, left leg, in the number 1 position in front of the girth. So right here, loose line. I'm going to look where I'm going. I'm going to use that left leg to turn him. And then I'm going to take my leg off and ask him to go straight. Okay, and we'll do that again. So you can see on the loose rein, I'm going to turn him by looking in the direction I want to go. My leg comes on him, and look in the direction you want to go. Loose rein. Use that inside rein as required if you need to. Now I'm going to do it one more time, but then I'm going to turn to my left. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to look to my left, and then I'm going to loose rein. I'm going to look to my left and put my leg on number 1 position on my right side and ask him to turn. And you can see he did pretty good, not as good as I want. I'm going to use a little bit of rein and then ask him to stop by sitting back on the seat. You can use the word whoa. They can learn the word whoa. But you also always want to do your seat and your legs, because then you can use that without using the word whoa. Then back up, sit back on that seat, back, back. Want the head to come down right now. And I can speed this up eventually. And then ask him to turn off your leg. Use that leg when you can. And then for canter, it's a kiss. Okay? This canter's a little fast. And at first, he didn't canter at all. He just wouldn't go into it. It took me 2 turns around the arena to get him into a canter. So he's kind of getting used to a kiss. And right now, it's a kiss and squeeze. And the outside leg goes back. The inside leg stays on the girth area at the number 2 position. Outside leg, which is now my left leg. So I'm going to do a canter over here in the circle. And you can see he's not real supple in it, not real comfortable with it. We'll do it right here, go into a trot. And right here at the top, I'll ask for the canter. I'll sit. There's a canter, relax, take all pressure off. All pressure off. If he goes to come out of the canter, then I'll have to put pressure. He's getting used to it. I'll sit back and say, up there, easy. Good boy. Keep it going. Then I'll sit back and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Back. A little slow there. Back. Okay. So, that's the basics for him right now. He's doing pretty good. He had some good fundamentals. Most of the stuff he didn't know, he didn't know. He knew his stop and his backup pretty good, I have to say. But we're continuing to work with it. And I have to say, Roy is a pleasure to work with. Ooh, good boy.